Salvete discipuli. Hello, class. This week we're diving into our Latin. So today I'm going to be going over our first group of Latin vocabulary. We're going to be learning some classroom-themed words, as well as commands, and then a couple of phrases that we can use in the classroom as well. So Latin is at this point in time not really a spoken language anymore. There are people who do still like to practice speaking Latin, but it's not spoken culturally anymore. But it is still fun to be able to use it in our Latin class whenever we can. So that's kind of what these words are going to be used for, is just incorporating Latin as much as we can into our classes. So let's get started. Okay, so classroom words and commands. We're going to start off with some kind of school-themed words. Oh, I forgot to remind you, please make sure that you have your Latin notebook or binder or whatever you're using to take notes, and make sure you are writing down these vocabulary words as we go through them. And as I say the words, I'm going to leave a little bit of a pause after I say the words, and I would love it if you at home could repeat after me. Normally in a classroom setting, all of you would be repeating after me, but for now, this is a great way to practice our pronunciation, is for you to say the words out loud with me during these videos. I know you might feel a bit silly saying Latin words out loud, maybe not, maybe you enjoy that, but that's what I'm gonna ask you to do. I also will be posting this PowerPoint separately from the video as usual, so that you can go through it at your own pace if I'm moving too quickly and you miss a word here or there. So, school words. Our first Latin word we have is magistra or magistra. People kind of vary between how they pronounce it. It is technically a short I, so it is magistra with that I, but a lot of people say magistra, so kind of either or on that one. Hopefully you know this one by now because I introduced myself this way to you. This is our Latin word for a teacher, specifically a female teacher. Since I am indeed a female teacher, we are going to use magistra to describe me, Magistra Perez. Okay. Our next word is discipuli. Discipuli has that long I at the end, so remember you do want to make sure that's that E sound. I've used this at the beginning of my videos. I've said salve te discipuli, and if you haven't figured it out just yet, discipuli is our Latin word for students. This is actually where we get the word disciple from. A disciple is a student, fun fact. I will try and incorporate English derivatives where I can as well, or at least tell them to you guys. If you think of a word and you're like, hey, is that word related to the Latin word? Feel free to let me know and I can tell you if it is or isn't. There's a lot of words that sound like they might come from Latin words but don't. But it is kind of fun to try and pick out where we get some of our English words from. The next word is nomen. Nomen. This is a word you will see on a lot of your assignments. It's going to be at the top corner. It is going to be our word for name. It's very similar to our English word for name. The spelling's similar. This O has just become an A, and we got rid of that final N there. So nomen is our Latin word for name. Our next word is scola. Scola. Feels a little silly pausing when nobody's here to repeat after me, but I'm going to assume and imagine that you are all repeating and I'm hearing all your lovely voices repeating after me for each word. So, scola, hopefully this looks a little bit familiar. This is our Latin word for school, all right? It is where we get the word school from. Next, we have the word liber. Liber. Now, this is one of those ones, like I mentioned in our pronunciation video, where it is important to make sure you are pronouncing this as a short I, because if you pronounce it with a long I, that is actually a different word. This word, with the short I, liber, is going to be our Latin word for book. It is where we get the word library from. Fun fact, because I mentioned the long I changes, the word liber with a long I is the word for free, and it's where we get the word liberty from. Very similar words, very easy to get them confused. It doesn't happen that often where words are almost exactly the same with just a different long or short vowel changing the meaning, but it does happen. This is one that's good to keep track. Liber is book. Tabula. Tabula. This should look somewhat familiar as well. This is our Latin word for, it literally means like a tablet, but we're going to use it to mean a notebook. So I've included two pictures here. This is obviously a modern day notebook, and this here is an ancient tablet. This was how ancient Romans would write down things in school, was you had these kind of pieces of wood with the center parts carved out, and then they would be filled with a layer of wax, and they would use this device, this is a stylus or a stilus in Latin, to write in the wax, and then when they were done, you could just warm up the wax a bit and rub the message, and it would basically be wiped up and ready to use again. It's essentially like our modern day whiteboards, sort of. So kind of a cool thing. Tablet, tabula. All right, this next word, this is something I forgot to mention in our pronunciation video. When you see this CH next to each other, this actually in Latin is more pronounced k instead of ch. You don't really get that ch sound in Latin. How they did it was it's like that k sound that our C's make in Latin with sort of a breath from that H next to it. So k, it's more of that sort of sound. It's a breathier k. Don't worry too much about pronouncing that correctly. But just think of our English word chaos. It's spelled C-H-A-O-S. So in Latin, C and H are going to be pronounced like they are in the word chaos. So this word is going to be pronounced carta. Carta. This should look like our word chart. It is where we get the word chart from, but it does mean paper. Charts were made from paper, so there you go. And this word is stilus. Stilus. This should also look familiar. In English, we spell it with a Y, where we get the word stylus from. In Greek, it would have been spelled with a Y because of their upsilon. And this is going to be our word for a pen. Very fancy pen here. Next, we have graphium. Graphium. This is going to be our Latin word for pencil. I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit because I think this is going a little long. There we go, classroom commands. Okay, so these are going to be some fun commands. These are verbs with an ending that is specifically used when you're giving someone a command, right, in order. We're going to think of it more in a gentle term. When I'm asking you to do something, I will use it in its command form. So that's what we're going to learn now. So the word audite. Audite, remember that AU is that ow sound, and we always pronounce that final E. Audite, if you hear that, this word means listen. So if you hear me say audite, discipuli, audite, I'm asking you to listen up. This one, tacite. Tacite. Oh, actually, that's supposed to be takete with an E. I will fix that. Apologies. It's supposed to be not an I there, an E, I believe. Takete. Takete. This is going to be our word that means quiet. Be quiet. Right? So when I say this, please stop talking and audite. Repetite. Repetite. This is going to be our word. Hopefully this looks familiar. Repeat. So if I want you to repeat after me, again, one more when we're in a classroom setting, this will work a bit better. When I say repetite, I'm asking you to repeat after me. Scribite. Scribite. This is where we get the word scribe from, or inscribe, or describe. right? So all those words are related to this particular word, and it means write. So I'm asking you to write something. Scribite. All right, so that was it for commands, and now just a couple of phrases, and then we're all done. Trying not to overload you with too many words the first week we do this. So we'll kind of build up our vocabulary as we go along. And again, we'll do lots of practice with these. So, ita, ita, or seek, seek. These are kind of two options for the same word. This is going to be the way we say yes in Latin. Literally, they mean like thus or something like that, but it's our best way of saying yes in Latin. They didn't actually have a specific word for yes, but this is the closest we have. Either one of those options works. Seek, it kind of looks like the Spanish sí for yes, so if that helps you remember yes, use seek for that, but ita is just as fine for yes. Opposite of that one, minime, minime. This is our word for no. And then this one again, it's kind of like two combined into one. You can say intellego, emphasis on the first part, intellego, or you can say non intellego, non intellego. So non intellego, non just means no or not. So non intellego is going to mean I don't understand. Intellego is going to mean I understand. So you just add the non before it if it's a not, it's a negative. Neschio, neschio. This is our word for I don't know. So slightly different than I don't understand. Slightly different connotations. I don't know is like I have no idea. I don't understand is more like you're confused about something. Okay, and I think that is our last word for today. Again, I will post the slideshow separately from the video. You can watch the video as many times as you want if it helps to hear me saying the words. But as far as taking notes go, if I went a little too fast going through the slides, those will be available separately so you can copy them down at your own pace. So don't worry about that. And thank you so much, and I will see you in our Zoom meetings this week. Okay. Take care and walete.